Spicy and the man who stole aBeZy's haircut, Mr. Ton.
Right, okay. I was about to come in with a line myself saying it's nice to have Puckett back, but I actually just take it back completely. I can't slander me. Actually, you know what? aBeZy's hair looks all right. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
I think it looked fine.
Out of the two of us, I don't think it's your hair that's the problem, but that doesn't matter at the moment. Let's jump into this one. Of course, there's going to be OpTic versus the Mutineers, and we're going straight into this hard point. A lot of stuff has happened over the last couple of days, of course, but this is a new day, a new game, and a new opportunity for players to try and make a name for themselves and start the season off right.
Yeah, Florida with a nice little start themselves last night. Of course, a bit of a wacky game. We got the pleasure of commentating that one, and I went to bed quite delirious, it has to be said, but nonetheless, a win is a win. They'll be happy with it, and they're looking for a win on this rotation. Scump will shut that down, will not find the fight onto Vehicle. The rotation over towards P2 starting to come in. Of course, OpTic starting on the more beneficial side. You do want to be starting heading over towards the Cantina, and they got a little lead as well as we head over.
And that's it. That's everything for OpTic. If they can hold this against them as well, and that's Dashy with an incredible shot. Staying alive is going to cause problems for the Mutineers. They're not going to be able to find him as three of them go down as well. Did he not see it? I don't think he did, and Vika will eventually get it in a little bit of scrap time. But at the moment, OpTic standing happy. They have control of the next hard point. They have the spawns. Just need to keep up the slaying, and they're in a very good position.
I like that from Priestahh. Just controlling that side of the map. Making sure that Florida have to then come chase him. It just delays this push that is now coming in. Shotzzy with the shots over towards the palm pots, and there's an all phone down. Brilliantly done by the side of OpTic Texas. That's going to be plenty of time falling their way. iLLeY now just allowed to push up the map ever so slightly and slow down that push once more.
So they're still holding very, very strong. Dashy making sure nobody coming through tunnel. The last remaining push really is going to be for them through back alley, but they don't want to put too much pressure on. But keep it on that mini-map. iLLeY may cause them to chain this if they continue to push this pressure away. They're doing just at the moment. One last fight going down. Of course, Scump is going to win it, and OpTic are set up for next. They're looking to push this advantage even further beyond.
That's a good gunfight win, though. We do have numbers here to the Florida Mutineers. The rotation round couldn't have been too many players from the side of OpTic Texas, and Florida Mutineers will lock this rotation in. Final 5 seconds over towards P2, starting to tick over towards OpTic. And it's about a 60 to 12 point game. Now look at the pinch that's been set up here. I think Florida will probably be aware the spawn came in from Major I pretty close to the hill, so they know pinch is coming. He's sitting here watching it. Shotzzy will be the first to fall, and iLLeY's going to start flying in here in a second as well. I think that's a streak coming in. It's not done very much, but distract as iLLeY will find one towards the back, Scump towards the front, and it's an all-out firefight towards this front side. Viko's still alive and kicking, doesn't have any teammates left alone. Hard job here, Bryce.
It is, but Shotzzy is more than equal to it too, flying into that hill as well. Major Maniac's got stun check there as well. He won't be able to put the pressure on he was hoping for. Doesn't have the corner, but he knows a player's going to be there. Shotzzy is holding it down again. And it's going to be OpTic continuing to put the pressure on with the slaying. And Shotzzy again jumping through. He is 11-3 right now and on a 4 streak.
Yeah, he's having a hellish start to the game, and has to be said. This time around, though, it is going to be Florida Mutineers first to the new hill. Setting themselves up in a position so they can't be pushed through this Cantina side. Little shoulder from Scump. Information gained. Hunting down Havoc as quickly as they can. Pinch starting to slowly be set up, and he's just unfortunately being caught with his pants down. Scump, Dashy combining well. This is absolutely flawless so far from the side of OpTic Texas. Brack will be taken down. There's your break. It's as clean as a whistle, Brycey. OpTic Texas starting to walk away with this one.
Yeah, Major Maniac was the only player causing a bit of problem here for OpTic, and he's still alive, and it means they can't get effectively across to where they want to be, and that has allowed the Mutineers to get back into position.
Get themselves inside, and Barbershop's still under their control, just about, some way, somehow. Pico trying to stay alive, does find one. Can he find a second at a Dashy as well? The shots are there. The final kill, although not going to be there. Dashy knows he's reloading. He'll start the rush. But look at the rotation coming in. It has to be said for the Florida Mutineers there. Things were looking pretty grim, but they stopped the bleeding ever so slightly. Rotation belongs to them as well as we head over now towards P5. Starting to lock this one in towards the courtyard. These next couple of gunfights are so important. There's 3 for Brack on the transition. Fantastically done. And this is a perfect opportunity for Mutineers to try and close that gap. It's about 50 or so. It may well be less than that after this hill.
Scump trying to see if he can see anything as well, but the Mutineers are locked in. This is not an easy break for them. There's just too many guns in the way. OpTic all go down. We'll have to spawn back up and figure this one out from a different angle. Already, though, they're trying to push this one out. iLLeY takes down the first player. Will OpTic push through the little cut? That mid-cut is a dangerous proposition. Scump goes for as well, and he does manage to get vehicle, but there's just not enough OpTic players there to convince anything is going to change. Brack with a 5-streak as well. We're off to the next set of rotations. Hopefully OpTic can do a bit better.
Oh, this is a big win. The spawn outs start to come in. When it comes down to Modern Warfare 2, if you are in control of the hill and you can't spawn there, you are then forced to spawn over towards next. That's why we've seen these hills start to get changed. Florida Mutineers with a perfect opportunity to do so here. Vehicle may be a little bit overzealous with that push, but Mutineers have a couple of players here trying to disrupt what is looking like a potential rotation for OpTic Texas. Havoc will find one. Needs a little bit of help, though. He's not going to get it quite yet. His vehicle will then come in for the trade. He's in and around the hard point. They have broken through, but split spawns coming across the board here could get a bit chaotic.
Vehicle trying to get up top here, trying to see who you can find. And he's found Dashy as well. I think he knows about that second player. He is waiting for Scump. Scump, though, holding it down and going to get a kill as well. Vehicle tries to get in. Eventually will get that headshot nailed through. 30 seconds here remaining on this hill. Mutineers will have the better numbers, but they don't have a Shotzzy who tries to break in. And it hasn't worked out for OpTic yet, as the Florida Mutineers will go into the lead.
And these last two hills have been really profitable for the side of Florida. Vehicle trying to stay alive. Too light. Oh, not going to happen. Scump will be there for the trade. 15 seconds to play with. Rotation now. Coming on over towards P7. It's going to be Florida Mutineers that get the benefit of that spawn once again. If you push this late, the team who are in control of the spawn on the majority of the time going to get a spawn for new. It's a bit of a pinch setting up by the side of OpTic Texas, though. You need to start moving. Pushing through blue is really the optimum situation here, but you need to start winning some gunfights. That's 3 that go Florida's way. And a lead change en route here as well. 150 to 135, Florida. Good time on the board here.
Just trying to be careful here. OpTic trying to find any sort of gap, but Major Maniac is closing the door in their face. Shotzzy eventually finding Brack. Dashy trying to stay alive. Just contesting for now, keeping this neutral while they're in the worst position. The pressure will come his way as Vehicle has found 2 as well. Dashy eventually going to find Major Maniac. Does a huge amount of work for it, hoping for reinforcements from his teammates.
Vehicle having a hell of a game at 17 and 12. Will eventually fall. OpTic will get themselves inside the point. As we head into another rotation of hills. Florida Mutineers spawning close though, so they'll try and keep them off it. That 12 points may well be crucial towards the end of the game. They only lost yesterday's hard point on Mercado by 13 points. And every single one counts. Rotations coming in over towards this next set of rotations though, and well, it's going to be the side of Florida Mutineers in the more prime position when it does come down towards P2, and they're in the lead heading into the second set of rotations as well.
Yeah, the lead is slight but real, and you can see at the moment that both teams fight for positioning around P1. Don't expect a ton of time on this hill in the second rotation. It's going to be more about who can put that pressure on towards Cantina, who can get in there and try to flip these spawns out for next, and it's going to be Shotzzy with a huge kill. He's now going to be a problem for the Mutineers. They are going to reinforce through that back alley and take pressure off of P1. It's a good position, but Shotzzy is still going to be alone.
One of the key rotational players in the game, and has to be said. You'll see him really light things up throughout the air, I would say. We expect it to come from him, but the smart plays, the sneaky plays, nobody really does it better. Doesn't necessarily work out that time around. P2 control, very much there for the side of Florida Mutineers, and that is maybe an overstep by the side of Major Maniac. Now there can be a pinch. Start to get set up. Try and get a weird little angle on top of the wall. That's going to be the play, but the pinch is not what's going to happen. It's going to be a 4-man push to the alley of Barbershop. And it hasn't worked out so far, Bryce. 2 kills for Brack.
Scump has managed to get 1 back, and he's hopefully going to team up with Shotzzy here and do something to alleviate the pressure. The Mutineers are in such a good position, though. They just have more numbers. Scump at the top of the stairs trying to fight for it. Hasn't worked out for him. iLLeY now crouching on the top, gets 1 kill. That gives them an opening, an opportunity to break this one. And with Dashy getting that second kill, OpTic can finally put the pressure on.
30 seconds remaining on this P2. Keep an eye on players starting to rotate. Florida getting the close spawn though, so they want a little bit more of this one. You got to be careful not to overcommit, but it is of an overcommitment if you win the gunfights. The answer is no. 15 seconds to play for here. It's only Shotzzy who can really slow this down. Rotation belongs to Florida. Lead belongs to Florida. Scrap belongs to Florida. Everything working out in their favor at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's one of OpTic's biggest failings maybe on this map. They haven't won as many rotations as they would like to. But with Florida set up last time around, it's been a very powerful hill for them. Shotzzy, though, with 1 kill. Havoc trying to stay alive. Vehicle and Shotzzy combining for 3. And only Brack can hide here at the top. They're probably going to be looking for him. They figured it out as as well, and Dashy takes him down. It's been a quick and effective break from OpTic Gaming, and now they are in a position to take this lead and push them into lethal range.
It's a wonderful break, but Shotzzy gets through just far too freely. Nobody from the side of the Florida Mutineers concentrating on the back alley, and that's where they get punished from. iLLeY finds 2 on the break-in, and those trophies are really going to slow things down here for the side of the Florida Mutineers. This is a crucial map now for OpTic Texas. We know how good Florida were yesterday in Search and Destroy. It'll be a hell of a scalp if they can take Mercado here. Map number 1, not going to happen though for the Florida Mutineers, specifically on this hill. It's a chunky little lead for the side of Texas now as we head back over towards Cantina, but we're going upstairs.
Oh, Shotzzy dive straight through. And can they manage to work this out here? Because that is an incredible break. If they can hold this off as well, they could be able to chain it. The pressure now is going to be on the Florida Mutineers. OpTic have done just enough. Shotzzy getting another kill. Scump going down the back, and it's not going to be able to do anything but get 2 kills, and Scump clears them out. And that is outrageous. The King has just broken the hill. He's on a 5 streak. They are now in position to finish this game.
Shotzzy on a 6 as well. 10 seconds for Florida to get there some way, somehow towards the barbershop. You've just got to hit it, and Dashy is ready and waiting. One more player who can get there. I don't know if it's going to happen. Shotzzy locks it down. That's an OpTic Texas map number 1 win.
It didn't look good for some of those rotations. It didn't. They kept losing rotation, but apparently the firepower reigns supreme. A great break into tin, and then they had to go all the way to barbershop. It doesn't matter. Just broke it. Shotzzy got through, caused chaos. Scump started cleaning up, and OpTic eventually just run amok, essentially.
Yeah, things got quite scary there. I said those rotations really were not looking likely for the side of OpTic Texas, but that final break towards tin, that's when things started to spiral out of control. Then we headed over towards barbershop, not to Cantina, as I said. We headed over to... There's 7 hills, I've got to get it locked in. Either way, we headed over towards the barbershop, and OpTic find the breaks on the back of 2 hellish streaks coming out from the side of Scump and Shotzzy when they are needed the most. Fantastic stuff from OpTic, the pure firepower, just enough to get through Florida Mutineers, but they had their opportunities there as well, has to be said. A 14 and 28 from the side of Havoc is going to sting just that little bit, but nonetheless, it's a performance from Florida though, and you look, a lot of people will be coming into this one and sort of saying to yourself, you would very much expect the side of OpTic Texas to be coming in and winning this first map, specifically what we see from the Florida Mutineers reflecting that. But it has to be said, Mutineers, not too bad of a performance, but close no cigar sometimes gets a little bit more painful, it has to be said.
Yeah, and I think I have to credit to the Mutineers on this as well. They did an awful lot right on this hard point. Rotations were almost always in their favor, but OpTic just kept breaking them. Like, I don't know if it's just the setup or the roots or incredible games, you know, Shotzzy's roots on that game certainly made a difference. And when it comes down to just slugging it out around a hill because you've made it chaotic and you've managed to get that initial wave of kills, OpTic reigns supreme.
Fantastically well done in the end. And it's these kind of kills, these kind of moments from Shotzzy that we're going to have to come to expect throughout the end. That's the break for me. That's the break that sort of, well, the straw that breaks the camel's back, if you like. Those kind of moments where he can push through and find 2 free kills like that. That's down to Florida Mutineers' setup. Yes, okay, some of these rotations were really good from them. They were finding themselves in good positions, but they're not locking these hills down as effectively as they possibly could have. OpTic Texas will get the job done, 250 to 202. And as said, when we talk about these maps specifically and how good Florida looked in the Search and Destroy, how poor OpTic looked in Search and Destroy, that felt like a must-win for the side of OpTic. You go to 0 to 1 down, you're heading into an embassy. If you lose that, all of a sudden you've got to find the reverse sweep. So the win comes in for the side of OpTic Texas, and that will be a one that, after all the events that's went on over this weekend, will hopefully steady the ship for them. Let's see how they do heading into map number 2.
Well, we will have to see just how these 2 teams are going to stack up moving forward. Here's the S&D round stats, and I know it's a small sample size. It wasn't good for OpTic, but today's a different day, and I suppose we'll have to find out if there's anything a little bit better in the tank for them. But yeah, that is it's not particularly great looking, but the sample size is literally 1 S&D, so
it is just 1 S&D. But the one that stings for me in there a little bit is the opening duel, 0 for 6, not single first blood out of those 6 rounds. Even if you do get 6 to 0, it's not winning 1 opening gunfight. It is a worrisome kind of stat, you would have to say. But at the same time, for Florida Mutineers, they went 7-12 in their opening duels up against the Vegas Legion yesterday and managed to win 12 out of 7 rounds. 12-7 on rounds, I should say. So it sometimes isn't everything, but I mean, it does really tell a story, doesn't it? You lose those first bloods, things not necessarily looking great for OpTic Texas when they did go up and play against Røkkr. But Florida Mutineers is a very different team. Is it going to work out that way? You know, it's of course it's different maps, etc. as well. The Embassy Search and Destroy. So it's an interesting one. Florida Mutineers, we didn't see this from them yesterday, so I'm intrigued to see what kind of strat they're going to come out with. We've seen a good game from them on Mikado. It was very much run down mid-map with a little bit of cover from the sniper if you Havoc, and you just caused absolute mayhem over towards the Cantina site. So obviously we don't have that luxury of seeing the same map, so we're going to have to make our own assumptions of how they're going to play it. Florida Mutineers will be looking to be aggressive, looking to try and punish OpTic as quickly as they can, use the numbers to their advantage, and then see what happens from there.
They will, and it's just a weird one. Obviously, when we talk about statistics, you know, I was so used to last year to having a huge sample size of many different maps and many different opportunities, and
we don't have
great percentages towards bombs and everything else. And now I'm like, well, you know, anything could happen. And last time OpTic played, anything could definitely happen. I think it's an interesting test. We've spoken before about going into this season. There's been an awful lot of change in the rosters ton, an awful lot of people trying to figure out exactly where everyone sits. For the Florida Mutineers, obviously we saw them yesterday. It was a chaotic game, I will say, we saw them play in. And obviously with OpTic, there was an awful lot of chaos as well. So we're still trying to figure out exactly where these two teams sit on our playing field. A lot of people very favorable over OpTic at the moment. You would say they are the favorites coming into this game, just purely based on the expectations that they need to deliver on. Like anything outside of top 3 for OpTic at basically all points is always going to be disappointment to the fans. There is an exceptional amount of pressure on them to perform this year.
Absolutely. It's never been as pressurized as it would have been this year. Scump's final season as a Call of Duty professional is something that they won't be wanting to end without, or at least one win. Now,
this is the infamous strat. Oh, look at the reception. Obviously,
I wasn't sure if they were just maybe playing it. You know, okay, let's just wait for them to push and we'll do something from there. But obviously,
well, no, I mean that's extremely passive. Not moving out your spawn is probably way too passive, to be fair. But
maybe,
obviously, maybe just a little technical issue. Whatever's going on with those two teams, we'll keep you informed as soon as we know. I suspect what is happening is the lobby will now be just remade and we'll go again.
Yeah, just controller issue on the side of OpTic Texas. We'll get that one figured out pretty much immediately. And into the game. No promises.
One thing I did notice, I did see a sniper pulled out there at the beginning, and obviously I don't want to be too overly involved with it. I think it was iLLeY who had one out. I'm hoping that's going to pull forward into the game and it wasn't just a controller issue, he didn't switch. I love watching a sniper on COD, and thank goodness it wasn't GA'd.
I've seen some clips today, man. I've seen some clips. Of course, all the challengers in their final chance to get themselves a paid trip over to Raleigh. Of course, that open side of the bracket. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what teams make it to come up and play it against the big boys. Old school kind of vibes, Bryce. I'd love to see it.
No, 100% agree. Very, very much looking forward to it. And I suppose one of the big things about this is it's almost like an accelerated schedule as we go towards the Pro-Am ton. It feels like 2 weeks of just a huge amount of games. Obviously, everything in challenges going on as well. And as we get into the Pro-Am, like, you got to prove it there, right? All the work that's gone on in preseason, all the coaches' rankings, all these games you're going to see. Well, prove it at the Pro-Am. We've got an event in just over a week and a bit, and we're going down to Raleigh, and we're going to see who comes out on top in the first event of the year. Now, technically, OpTic won the first major last year. They didn't win the kickoff, and this is like a combination of the two because it is a major. There are points involved, but it's also a Pro-Am.
It's going to be such an interesting event. We've got so much going on. There's COD Mobile, there's that Code Ball. There's bloody everything, Brycey. What more could a Call of Duty fan want? Get yourself along to Raleigh. Very, very excited for that. But we got the not so small issue of a couple of games online to get through first, of course. Very excited to see how the rest of these games today play out, how next weekend plays out, because as you talk about so often, it's all about the benchmarking at the beginning of the season. Super interested to see how it goes. as we head into map number 2, OpTic Texas. Everything was getting rosy this time around.
He's going to be restarting there. He's going to be a sniper from iLLeY. Just checking out the B bomb. Nobody giving you an opportunity yet. Will Brack peek just a bit too far? At the moment, you also see a little bit of a push on the minimap. I think it's Havoc being aggressive.
iLLeY looking for the picks. OpTic just sitting nice and passively here. I like the positioning from Havoc. Starting to slowly make his way around, but Brack, you're a brave little boy. That's a angle you don't want to pick on too often, but Havoc will find that kill, and he'll get himself out as well. So now OpTic Texas in a peculiar position. Havoc up there causing chaos, as he usually does in Search and Destroy. It's a 4v3 now for the side of the Florida Mutineers.
Wow, this is the problem. OpTic really don't have map control. They're going to have to figure this out. Havoc might be able to get another kill here, but time is running out. OpTic have played this one really slowly, and now they don't really have a lot of places to go. Got to be an aggressive push towards A now. Major Maniac will be the player who sees them first. That will be called out as well. Nade going out, trying to stay alive. Knows his pressure coming through. Only finds one. Priestahh going into Dashy. And eventually the teammates will come through as well. And OpTic, no time, no way to move, are going to fall in the first round.
Nicely done. And it just comes off that pick from Havoc, to be honest with you. Because he finds that in the position he is in over towards office, OpTic are then right. Okay, that's an issue for us, but so we can't push out that way without probably, at best, a trade. Havoc could be sitting in any weird little corner. So now what do we do? And they just take their time, wait to see if a pick falls their way, wait to see if Havoc is maybe too aggressive and gets caught out. None of those things come true, and all of a sudden you've got to make a decision on which way to go. And they fall into Major Maniac, who's well set up. Racked up. Ready for the push starting to come out. It's an absolute firefight over towards B. iLLeY trades it back. As Vigil found Shotzzy, it's a 3v3. Gotta chall it. Gotta chall it.
Scump and iLLeY. And that is a cleanup.
It is just about Major Maniac now. Bomb is down, but not in a good spot. Scump will find the shots. Nicely done.
Simple and clinical. I'll tell you something. OpTic look to have a very, very clean retake there, and this is always the interesting thing. I said when we jump on OSD the first part of the season, these kind of working on Dashy's really having fun off the top, but I think both teams obviously you try and hold stuff back, you know, your usual breaks and everything. You know the other team's going to know where you usually should be. And the same thing comes with retakes, right? Like, you know which areas to check. And I think OpTic were very, very slick in kind of countering that so fast.
Aggression, though, from the side of Mutineers, something that we did expect. The aggression won them the round in round number 1, of course, with Havoc pushing up, not necessarily working out that time around for them. Just comes to an all-out firefight. OpTic Texas are not one of those teams you want to pick one of those battles with. At least it has to be said. Havoc once again aggressive across the scene. Holds his grenade because Vigil is already there. Brack is there with the counter as well, and iLLeY might have the sniper, but Brack has the angle. Now 3 versus 2. Dashy and Scump not in a good position. Don't have the bomb. Havoc is sneaky. Dashy is dead, and Scump's left all alone.
1v3 for Scump. It would also be the ace. He's got to kill early on. He's going to pop the dead. He's looking for it. Flies out. Sees a shoulder, does. Eventually sees Havoc. That's down. 1 versus 2.
Benjamin out watching the cross. The problem for him here is that he does not have the bomb. And this is going to be a tough gunfight.
Does he see him? Oh, I think he saw a shoulder. He did. The pixels are there. He's looking for it. Not quite able to get it. 33 seconds left on this clock here for Scump.
Although
he's heard a breakout there as well. It's not a good position for Scump now. Players against him. He's trying to get almost gets Vigil. And there's a chow coming through. But Major Maniac will not let the dream and shuts it down before Scump can do any more damage.
A valiant effort, it has to be said. I think it's unfortunate, though, you know, that slight shoulder peek from Major Maniac. If he can find the kill there, then all of a sudden it is so doable. He had time on his side. But as soon as those shots come through, Vigil's on his way over, and it's all of a sudden a very, very difficult situation for Scump. So Mutineers finding another defensive round. And For me, again, it's Havoc. He's just pushing forward, finding awkward little spots and setting up Mutineers in fantastic positions. But a couple of good pushes from Vekal as well, having a good game himself at 4-1. 2-1 now to the side of Mutineers. Vekal front door, and Havoc is there, and they just went full aggression over towards A. Something out of the play bouquet from the Florida Mutineers.
Yeah, it's put him a little bit flat-footed, but Scump is there on the flank. Can he find the second? Unfortunately, Vekal will find it, but it brings it down to a 2 versus 3 and takes them off the bomb.
Slight misread.
Shotzzy's a mile away.
It has to be said, a slight misread by the Florida Mutineers there. They finally push over towards A, and Scump walks straight through the middle of the map and finds a kill towards the back. So that's really slowed down this push.
Oh, Dashy!
And Dashy reads that so easily. Major Maniac pops himself up and says, yeah, have a free kill. 2v2.
That is outrageous reads. Doesn't even hesitate. Gets ready for the Major Maniac peek. Back to 2 versus 2. Dead silence popped. He's going back in. At the moment, Shotzzy still in the corner, just watching all of B. Oh, timing hit for him as well. Dashy again. Now a 1 versus 2 for Vekal. And these two will now combine. Dashy will still have that dead silence. It reset for him. Vekal's going to be up top. Oh, he doesn't make the jump, though. I wonder if that was a misplay or whether he decided to go down in the end. But he's going to get pinched here as well. An OpTic clutch up. Florida Mutineers, they started off incredibly, but they do not end the round with anything less than defeat.
Ugh. That's a first blood. Push over towards A. Huge opportunity for Mutineers to get this one done. But honestly, it's Scump through the mid-map. I mean, it's kind of just one of them, like, oh, well, let's see what happens. But the fact that he's able to push forward and Mutineers are not watching that cut, that one's going to sting. Because that's a free kill for Scump. It completely negates the bomb plant that could potentially be coming through. And there will be an inquisition from the Florida Mutineers about that one. Setup not quite there. Kind of rings true to what we've seen from their hardpoint game. The initial thoughts are always quite good. The initial bricks are always quite decent. But when it comes to it, there is holes in whatever defense they do seem to have at any given moment.
And I'll be disappointed with that, because the aggressive push may not work again.
They're making noise. They're just making noise over towards A. They were pushing over towards B. That bomb is now down. It's all of a sudden a 2v2.
Oh, lots of fight going on. Scump is chasing him with the tails. Brack somehow gets out of it. Straight back down to 2 versus 2. And Scump is putting bullets in everybody, but nobody's going down. And somehow Brack gets him. It's back onto Dashy. Incredible last time. Can he do it again? I think he's seen Vekal this time.
Does see him, sends the grenade out.
Oh, the shadow
connects. Oh, you would have seen him. Dead silence play to be made. Straight through the middle. Florida Mutineers be on a swivel here. He's gonna see them. Oh, they're lined up for just a second. The shots in the Vekal are good, but not good enough. Dashy, every single round, is offering opportunities up to OpTic Texas. Isn't able to take it that time around. Vekal just turns around at the right moment. The bullets were there, but the headshot multiplier going to work out for the young Spaniard. Vekal getting the job done.
And you thought just for a second it would line up for them again. Mutineers doing just enough work there, and Scump's got to be feeling a little bit sick about that. There were so many bullets he put into players. Eventually went down, but Mutineers leading this 3-2, but it has been a very scrappy S&D so far. Bracco. Stun checked. That means he will kind of have to slow it down. Lily with his sniper out as well. Bracco will end up finding Shotzzy. Will Lily be able to equal it up? And he does! What a sniper on a Major Maniac. 3 versus 3.
Gets out as well. Look at this position, though. Quite literally in the hornet's nest if you're Scump. And you are in a superb position. And you can see what OpTic Texas have done here. The Dashy and iLLeY are like, yeah, well, we don't need to be here. Scump has literally got this on lock. Easy kill. There you go. And now the rest of OpTic can still sit tight. If you're Florida Mutineers, you go, how on earth have I just literally been killed from top office? Scump now over towards top bathroom. This is such a good spot for OpTic to be in.
Florida Mutineers, at the moment, they're trying to figure this out. Can we go B? They're worried. Someone's around it, so they're checking every single angle for it first. They don't see what we see. Keep an eye. I think Vekal may try switching bomb sites here, and OpTic may go for a wrap. The timing is absurd, but I think iLLeY may have either heard something or has figured this one out.
He's heard something. Yep, he's definitely heard something. Here comes the peek, and Brack, you might have a sniper, but I've got a better one. The shot into the pistol. Oh my god! The accuracy is absurd once again from iLLeY.
Well, that man's going to be looking for his toes as they've now spread all over the car park. It's all right. I'll shoot what I can see. Huge amount of confidence. Doesn't even hesitate to take the shot. And it's back all tied up by OpTic. And it's just that play by Scump, I think, it threw Florida Mutineers through a loop. They thought they had control and they didn't.
That's the killer, has to be said. You think you've got complete control. And all of a sudden, there's an OpTic Scumpy upstairs right behind you.
Slow peek again here. iLLeY looking for that first blood. He doesn't see Major now, but Major's going to get him first.
That's not an angle you would have thought of. Yeah, that's not an angle you would have thought that Major Maniac would be taken up, and he's not someone who will miss the opportunity. Oh my god, Brack, will see you again in round number 7.
Dashy doesn't need a sniper. That M4 don't miss. Here we go, Scump and Havoc. About to probably engage in the toilets, and Scump figures it out as well. He knows where Havoc's going to be. The unbelievable reads, everything Florida Mutineers are trying. They had the first blood, and since then, it hasn't gone well for them. I think Major Maniac also got some bad timing there at the same time. Daddy's going to be popped.
I like this.
All the way around.
Because Scump will think, yeah, okay, I've got that side covered. But look at this wrap from OpTic Texas. All the way over towards A. Major Maniac thinks he's played an absolute blind with this push over towards B. He's in no man's land, and all of a sudden, Vehicle A is going to be very, very dead immediately. Although he's down to okay. Call out must have come through from the side of Major Maniac. Must have seen him.
Scump is fully taking control of top round after round.
Surely he's hearing him, yeah.
Oh, he has. Scump has heard him. Scump has heard him. Oh, Major Maniac wins it, but Shotzzy is waiting for the trade. And that could have been disastrous. Major Maniac won that gunfight, but Shotzzy was ready. That is teamwork. That's putting him just ahead here. Florida Mutineers keep seeming to do things right, and then it just goes wrong for them. Kind of reminds me of the hard point.
Yeah. It's a tough one. It's just those final little tweaks here and there. It feels like Florida are not far away from being a really solid team. There's a couple of mistakes, but those mistakes so far have been costly. That's a tough one, though. I kind of like the play from Major Maniac to wrap back around, think of that speed flank coming on through, but OpTic switch it up at the final moment. Let's see. Round number 8 we go.
It's aggressive here. The Mutineers are getting this down fast. Shotzzy already getting a first blood, though. Havoc will get one back on the Scump, and just a peek there in the second. Havoc and Brack combining. That bomb is now down, and iLLeY and Dashy are left in a 2 versus 3.
Gotta find this first kill. And you gotta find it quickly. Is Brack gonna pick it though? Is he gonna pick it at the wrong time? It's the slightest of shoulders. I'm surprised the challenge didn't come up because iLLeY now has an M4. He's quite happy to challenge something himself. Vehicle will fall 2v2.
They've sent Dashy. They've sent Dashy. They're like, figure out where he is, and Dashy wins the gunfight! There's no way he should have run this Havoc now to 1 versus 2, but time is against him. Sorry, time's on his side. He just has to play this patient. Has to check the bomb. Oh! iLLeY's gonna win the gunfight. The defuse comes in instantaneously. Was it in time? It was close. I think it was in time, and it is going to be in time. What a retake from OpTic. That is insane.
Calamitous of the Florida Mutineers. Absolutely.
Package. We need to watch that round again.
That's absolutely calamitous. Oh, he hears him and just snaps, and he's smashing the square button of his controller to try and get that one defused.
I mean, we also got to talk about Dashy.
Oh, that was an absurd
up top on Brack. And
there's
the drop
3
shot behind the door.
There's 3. iLLeY's first hunter vehicle, the drop shot behind the door from Dashy, and then iLLeY snap and immediately defuse. OpTic Texas all of a sudden 5-3 up.
Outrageous. We jump back and forth with the attacking team, and iLLeY and Major Maniac almost come to blows, but Major Maniac goes for it, but it will be a hit marker, and already kills are flying down. It's down to a 3 versus 3 already.
Hit marker comes through, and that grenade follows it up. The call out would have come in immediately from iLLeY, and look where Shotzzy is, just being annoying. A bullet in the shoulder. I don't think my thumbs even moved that fast. Scump will find a kill. It's a 3 versus 2. About to be a 3 versus 1. I say that. 2v2. Good gunfight win from Røkkr. And all of a sudden, OpTic Texas are a little bit at sea here. Florida Mutineers don't have a lot of information themselves, but you got to be careful not to pick this. iLLeY, there's the sniper. There's Røkkr dead. 2v1.
Well, can Brack find something this time? He knows that there was a sniper out there before. Dead silence popped, giving him freedom of movement to move around as fast as he would like. Is he going to see iLLeY, or is iLLeY going to see him? But the stun check comes in. They know where he's going to be now. And he sees iLLeY, who's just peeking it left and right.
Scump's on his way. You can't see him on the minimap, but he's on his way. Brack will find the shots into iLLeY. Yeah, there's the trade. OpTic Texas 2 to the good. And just those last 3 rounds, bringing up those clutch situations when they need to. Phenomenal work. Game's been close until, what, 3/4 of the way through, and both maps so far. And OpTic Texas just turn it up a notch. 2-0, and deservedly so.
Well, I tell you something, momentum is an incredible thing in Call of Duty, and you could kind of see it in OpTic's favor. And also, I set Scump 11-6. Outrageous play from him. He just kept finding kills over and over again. And the chow could have been a bit disastrous there in that last round as well, by the way, but OpTic got away from it. And I've got to say, the stun check that came in to figure out where he was, you saw them both snap into action. iLLeY was playing that shoulder very, very carefully. Eventually went for the peak, and Scump cleaned it up. But what I will say for OpTic is it looked precise. And a lot of that was iLLeY. I think he was making big plays. We saw Dashy earlier on. Scump with that top control. That is something we're going to have to watch the rest of the season, because he did not let it slip.
And I think that's something that a lot of teams will look at now. There's your research. Scump is finding those routes to get himself up top in office, which is just such a huge power position to be in on the defensive side. You can peek over towards the bomb site, obviously over towards B, and then of course you can transition over towards A. You are literally in the spawn of the enemy at that stage. It's a brilliant position to be. We've seen Havoc doing it for the side of Mutineers, but not quite with the same success, it has to be said. And OpTic Texas, a couple of clutch situations that they come through and find. It's, for me, that not the final round, the round before that, the fact those 3 gunfights that start to come through shows the star power of this roster. Just brute force getting them through the round. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, certainly looking very, very good for them. We were questions yesterday about their S&D, but looked pretty good today, and that's what counts. Well, Control is coming up next, and we hope for an issue-free one, but that will all be after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you here for more Call of Duty League.
Upgrade your game with a Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. It has been an incredible series so far. OpTic Texas lead 2-0 against the Florida Mutineers, and we have some highlights from that S&D. It is going to be our Scuff play of the game, and of course it's going to be iLLeY. Incredible snipes all the way through, Ton.
Yeah, he was just phenomenal up top AC, up top office, but this is the one, has to be said. Does a great job with that first kill. The peak round onto Bracken. That's the one that does it. Vehicle, unfortunately, size 11 feet. And gets them taken off. There you go. Fantastically well done from the side of iLLeY. Really inspirational for the side of OpTic Texas there in that S&D win. That was good, honestly. The round where they retook the bomb site, he snapped on the Havoc to find the defuse just about in time. Was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And now for the side of Florida Mutineers, Search and Destroy was one that we kind of said they had to win. We're now heading into a control on Hotel. It's a tall order now, isn't it, to win this series? A really, really tall order.
It certainly is. And at the moment, Shotzzy having some great stats in here, but we won't really talk too much about stats on this control, and I'm sure you'll know why. But obviously, we look forward to seeing how this one does play out between these two teams. At the moment, we are heavily favoring OpTic to take this. The momentum in this game, the state that they look to be in, is phenomenal. Can Florida Mutineers force a comeback, though? Can they start even potentially a reverse sweep?
Big map control coming in from Florida Mutineers off the rip. Gonna try and force over towards B. These next couple of kills are really influential. iLLeY will find the first, iLLeY will find the second. Like, he wasn't even there. Major Maniac already dead, and now he can try and find themselves a push up. But Brack will maybe punish them for being a bit overzealous. Nonetheless, it's bottom bedrooms for Scump. Finds two. It's aggressive starts to the control.
Reinforcements again. Coming over towards B point, and he's somehow still alive. iLLeY can't believe it. He cannot believe he's still alive. Fortunately, two teammates clearing it up, but that will eventually be rebuffed. And it is being a bit of a blender at the moment. You can see Florida Mutineers determined to headbutt their way into this B. Hasn't worked out for them. The guns of OpTic are firing. On the other side of it, an A push coming in from the Florida Mutineers. They have to get past Shotzzy, though.
And look how scared they are to push through. They're just presuming that there will be players pushed up here from the side of OpTic Texas, and here comes Shotzzy. Dead silence popped, and here we move forward. The other side of Mutineers, though, you need to stop this time, as Scump will find one on the exit of it, and Shotzzy is still just playing with them here. Staying alive for the rest of his team now to come try and help him back up. No, 13 seconds is absolute menace in towards Kitchen. It's going to be a fourth. This is absurd from Shotzzy. It's a masterclass. My goodness me, somebody get a trade.
Oh, Shotzzy, 6-0. Don't die for 5 seconds, my friend. It's a flawless control round. And Florida Mutineers, 0.4 seconds left. They are getting on to B.
He's on his way over. Couches, will he die? No, he won't. Turns around in time to avenge his teammate. Well, all of a sudden, there's two players left over towards B. You need to get them off. Actually, this is good progress by the side of Florida Mutineers. They're extending. They're extending. That's another minute gone, and the more preferred site to push towards is going to be an issue. Shotzzy still alive.
Oh, there's playing your life, and then there's 8-0 on a control round, but B going away from them. They probably won't be too worried. They just got to make sure they don't make any huge mistakes here. Florida Mutineers need perfect God to break themselves back into this game and this round. But they are being held out at every single break.
Oh, it's a hard push. OpTic have had time. And those lives. Just not a good spot for Florida Mutineers to be in here, but the time even worse. Shotzzy alive in Kitchen. Surely he doesn't continue to survive, does he?
Oh, there he goes. 9-0 streak with Dash. He's going to get his trade. But Brack gets two, and they're now diving in. It's a 5 versus 17. No time remaining. Scump's going to be there. Havoc around the back, looking for a hero play. Can he make it? No, he cannot. iLLeY shuts him down. Time running away. And it is an incredible performance from OpTic Texas. Florida Mutineers did the best to come back into that game, but Shotzzy was just running through Kitchen like he owned the place.
Oh, honestly, I got a little bit lost in the sauce during this moment. I was just absolutely wild. And you could say, and the funny fact is that Florida Mutineers in that sort of situation, they expected Shotzzy to be in that area, and yet still could not do anything about it. Absurd players from the young phenom, that is Shotzzy. OpTic Texas 1 to the good. It is a defensive hold-on control, something you would expect, it has to be said, but in a strong manner. I think they'll be disappointed to have lost B, though. You'll have to think about it a little bit. It's come down to Tix to get the defensive hold over towards that final round, if we do indeed see it. Initial break over towards B. Doesn't work out for the side of OpTic.
It doesn't, but they must be riding high, and let's find out how they feel in the comms with an OpTic Texas. Listen in.
A little better right now?
Want you pop daddy on me?
I'll see him. One guy's right there. Right there.
I don't see the guy B.
Right there.
Go say me. Go say that. I got the guy.
B couches, nothing couches.
Go, one peek on. Go to our side, peek on.
I'm getting in this wall. I'm in this wall.
Just go on B.
Beacon, one shot, Vico. Absolute. He went to. I think he's watching
I'm spawning one.
Yo, one guy's our low hallway, guys. He's going upstairs, maybe?
Yo, main dead.
Yeah, spawn.
One guy's on me, Karam. One guy's on me, Karam.
On top of me.
Or he's in Karam.
Yo, I spawned there. Nice.
Yeah, pushing up.
You got me.
I think he's our side here.
Yeah, I'm coming out of it. He's on you for sure.
Yep.
He bricks?
On top of me.
I'm taking down the point.
I have their side.
Brandon, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm getting up point.
He's out going.
I'm looking the rugs.
I'm watching your bench. I have a bench.
Oh yeah, I have double arch.
I'm taking their side.
I'm fine.
I might contest this, watch out.
Yeah, one guy's going their bricks right now.
I have you watch bricks, one of us.
Watch bricks,
One shot, are you? Watch out you. One guy's bricks, right?
Bricks. Hits on.
Nice, good.
2-2. I'm going double
for these guys off
Yeah.
One guy's low band.
They're spawning spa.
Are you? I'm pushing on that.
The one's in their back P4, on me.
Yeah, they're spawning small right here.
Yeah, they're spawning spa.
Yep.
I'm trying to cut off spa.
I'm working around with you.
I'm cutting off spawn.
In the back.
I have top right bed.
One more here. One more in the back.
I'm watching it. Go, I'm the pillar, one shot.
I got one lobby.
Weak before.
Are you? Yeah, I'm
Watch out. There's one white.
We're missing one, right? We're missing one bed.
Missing one.
In our bed, Major. In our bed.
They're fighting for me. He's top their lobby.
No, I took my mini. He's still there.
Work pitches. We're good.
Top end.
Wait for this guy, top bed.
Yeah, I'm top bed right now.
I'm coming top bed. Give me a second, set.
What bricks?
Yeah, one guy's main right now. Main one back.
Low bed, absolute Major. Low bed, absolute.
Or Brack, top our bed.
All right, OpTic trying to figure out this Florida Mutineers defense, but they are certainly in high spirits is the only way I'll put that one. But at the moment, Florida Mutineers are holding them away from it.
They've done well here, Florida. The flanks around have not really worked out for the side of OpTic Texas. Initial one looked the strongest opportunity so far, but they couldn't make it stick. Major Havoc finding 2 important kills here with 18 seconds to go. One last roll of the dice yet. Havoc, though, in this sort of position, this is just going to cause so many problems. Even if he doesn't find that kill there, he's in such a good spot for the Florida side.
Scump makes a kill, though. Havoc's going to be in a great position, though, to put the dagger in. They have to deal with it. They have to try and split their fire between the two of them. Shotzzy makes a huge kill, though. And managed to hold away. Dashy gets the second one. How have they done that? They had to shoot 2 directions, and they've won both gunfights. And now Florida Mutineers are not near. That second tick is rocketing forward. The third is upon us, and they have to jump. They have to fly, and they've done it. OpTic Texas, from nowhere with no time, and the positioning against them somehow get the control point. Every gunfight.
Heartbreak for the Mutineers. And honestly, the way that Havoc plays that, I'm on board with every single step. But you can't get going like that. Dashy with the M4, admittedly, is always going to be in a stronger position than when you've got a Vaznev, but it's one of those moments. The awareness from Dashy on top of the shots being crisp and clean. And as soon as Havoc's dead, it's panic stations for Florida. They're 2-0 down in the game. They're 2-0 down in the series. Do or die now.
Well, Florida are going to be very, very stressed at this point. One potential round away from going out. So let's find out how they are feeling with the Florida Mutineers. Listen in.
Yeah. I think I'll just take a full pinch. I have red door only. I didn't send him storage. It's 2-2-2 like we spoke about, boys. Yeah, I'm gonna go single here. We might get shot in the ass, though. I'm gonna stand Gucci. Give me a second. He's right side setting. He's dead. I'm hitting single. I can hit single. You guys want to wrap? No, I hit single. I'm coming single. Well, couches. I got spawn spa. Couches, Dashy. I'm looking spa. I don't know if he's spot. Are you sure?
Nah, he should, bro. He should. Yeah, he's laying down there. Can you flank him?
Yeah, come.
He went to D1. D2 dead. D2 dead.
Nice, that's him.
Like I spawned plat. Top plat. Alright, listen. I'm gonna dive out to the heady.
Top plat weak. Top plat weak. I'm gonna down.
Play for Scump, Cole. Play for Scump.
Heard that. I can go bottom bed. Bar. I'm watching here.
Push through there. Push through there. Alright, yo, get on point. Get on point. Look over you guys. Top down. Make sure I can't get pinned. They're gonna be
watching my low bed. Bottom bed.
Bottom bed. Lighten me up. aBeZy pinch. aBeZy pinch.
Careful. Couches. Bar one shot. Bar corner one. Hey, one more couches.
Couches and bar. Couches.
More couches. You went towards single, I think.
No, you went towards our side couches. He's our side of couches.
Hit her on the back again.
You heard he's our side of couches.
Yeah, he is. He's still there. Still no weak.
I have my own single.
He's still couches. No weak.
One's Gucci.
Couches weak for you. Couches dead.
Nice, go in.
We should cut.
Oh, bottom bed.
Gucci dead.
Bottom bed, iLLeY. And one's trying to get to top bed fast.
Yo. What's on point? Black box. Weak on black box. I'm nading it. Need it. Going to the right. Sending it. I'm gonna chop bed.
Okay. I killed one top bed. Nice.
One's back.
Oh, bottom plat. One shot. He went bottom bed.
Bottom bed dead.
Nice. Go in.
That's both bed. One single on me.
That was both bed.
That's one bed side. They're gonna be middle. They didn't push bed yet.
Admin.
One's gonna be bar. I think one's gonna be bar.
Nothing bar. Nothing bar.
I'm nading over for us.
I can keep holding mid. You guys gotta work the point though.
Okay, I need him on point. I can get him point. He's D1.
Well, Florida Mutineers are stacking ready for this one. It is about to go down. Every single player is here. Dashy will get that first one. iLLeY will get the second. And the Florida push comes to nothing. iLLeY with the third. And Major Maniac trying to do damage control now. And he eventually finds Shotzzy. Tries to get another one through and not going to be able to. At the moment, OpTic are holding.
Still plenty of time, though. And I really like what OpTic have been doing. Pushing through, having somebody in bed, even that upper or lower. It always seems to work out for the defensive side spawn. And always making that push up towards top lights. You spawn Mutineers out so far away. What was 40 seconds? It's 20 seconds for a push nearly every single time. Florida Mutineers have got one more bite of the cherry here. Shotzzy, Scump getting the job done. Up 2 kills falling through, 15 seconds to go.
There is a wall of fire every time they try and hit this. They have one last opportunity just to get somewhere near, and they've already lost Vehicle as Shotzzy stays alive. No, he's down. Mack and Havoc have got 2. Dashy and Scump. Can they find something? And they found one. Major Maniac is stopping the clock by himself. Reinforcements flooding in for Florida. Vehicle gets another. And now OpTic are scrambling. That second tick is in. They're now flying at the point, trying to another player jumping on board. And then trying to get it, but it's a contest. And eventually goes down. It's still coming through. Scump's going as well. And it's just so close. But OpTic stop it. They stop it in the end. A fraction of a tick, a 0.8 of a second, but it's the green wall that hold it down in the control. And I don't even know what happened at the end there. I thought it was Florida, but OpTic find a way.
I've seen many hotel lobbies like that at CDL events before. It's absolute lunacy. My goodness. Crazy end towards the end of the control. And it's just popping off. It's trade after trade after trade, but it works out for the side of OpTic Texas in the end. Similar to their attacking round, it's those final couple of kills that come through for Florida Mutineers just in those final moments, and they get inside the point. And it's then about the retake. And it doesn't seem like there's any sort of tactical play about it. It's just send it into the point and see if we can win the trades.
I think iLLeY made an incredible play there. I believe we can watch the last part of that control. So keep an eye on exactly what happens here. Basically, Florida find a way in, and keep an eye on number 8. I think he jumps in the hill, takes the 2-stack off it, which is the most dangerous part, right? This is where it all goes wrong. Shotzzy goes down. Dashy is in a great position to shut them down, but Major Maniac makes it, and he stays alive on block. When Scump goes down, it looks like it should be game over. They are miles away. Florida have the numbers. But iLLeY not only gets through this point, but he jumps on and takes down Havoc.
There. Oh, there's a team kill in that. So all of a sudden, that's a 2 for 0. Make that a 2 for 1. Make that, yeah, and there you go. Brack the last one alive against 2. I didn't see the team kill. That makes a difference because Havoc's holding that side. He at least trades one of those. And then it goes down to a 1v1, not a 2v1, and then it's up in the air, isn't it? But that is a very nice looking scoreboard if you're an OpTic gaming fan. We know there's lots of you watching in the Twitch chat right now. 250 and 202 on the card, a hard point. 6-3 Embassy, search and destroy. 3-0 hotel control, firmly putting those control demons to rest there.
Florida really sick of watching that back because
you know,
that was locked in. 3 players. That tick would have been It would have gone.
Yeah.
It just would have gone. Literally, we're talking like half a second, maybe a second more. The game would have been over, but the team kill, iLLeY makes a kill. He stops it dead as well.
Yeah.
And it gives them the time to get the reinforcements in. But yeah, that...
I just a quick word on Florida Mutineers towards the end of that. There's a couple of moments here and there, small mistakes. They just get punished for them so harshly. Rule them out, and that's a much different series. It could be very much a closer one. Not too bad from them, just small mistakes. Small mistakes is what's cost them.
Well, we'll have to find out. But OpTic riding high. Let's see what our Des thinks, though. Puckett, over to you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Great job on the cast. One of the fastest series we've seen so far as OpTic comes out for revenge on day 3. And, well, they got it. It wasn't the cleanest 3-0, though, aLLeY. As Ton mentioned, this Florida Mutineers squad had some opportunities, some misplays throughout it. But if they go back and they look at this VOD, they might see this as a 5-game series that they could have potentially taken it to another search.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely right there with you. But I will say, I mean, the biggest momentum change had to be during that hard point. It was when Shotzzy had gone through to P2 and decided to re-pinch Tin Hill. They had absolutely zero control. The entire map, they were getting out-rotated by Florida. But Shotzzy hits that dark L room, gets 2 kills, and that's the break and hold that they needed to get the lead change and the momentum to close it out. From then on there, it seemed like nobody on OpTic was stoppable.
We got to talk about search and destroy, though, because if you were watching yesterday, we went to a Game 5 round 11 between the Mutineers and the Legion. And the Legion, they had 8 first bloods of those 11 rounds and still lost to the Florida Mutineers. Today, we see the Florida Mutineers picking up 8 first bloods, and yet it's OpTic stealing the game. What's going on here in the new title? Is this just a new game thing, or are teams just still figuring out how to play these maps?
That's the second part. Teams still figuring out how to play these maps, and you can see OpTic Texas, they made a ton of adjustments from the first time that they played Embassy Search and Destroy. This time around, it was much, much better. You saw them trying to get control of top office. It was Scump a couple times, getting up top, just being annoying, and then iLLeY as well with that sniper. Every single time that there was a first blood, there was an instant trade and a flurry of kills on the side of OpTic Texas, and also a couple big clutches. They had a 2v3 and a 2v4 in that map.
And one of them is our Scump play of the game. Let's take a look at this one more time. aLLeY Cat, you got up, you were jumping out of your seat, and your random production saying, grab that play.
It's literally, I'm just so happy snipers are in, because we get clips like this from players like iLLeY. The fact that he got the hit marker, didn't even think twice, like he didn't even look upset that it didn't finish off the kill. It was a beautiful way to end that search and destroy.
And here's the 2v4.
This was sick.
And this was insane. This was just iLLeY. Like, we know iLLeY to be an S&D god. He just knew where these players were playing, and he outplayed them. This drop shot was disgusting. And then you switch to Dashy, who also drops shots the player in top office. It's just teamwork at the end of the day.
And that's both times in both these clips that you saw. OpTic takes the opponent's base. Both times they get the bomb down. They're like, all right, we're going to come back from their side and just pick them apart. That's great communication in the clutches out of iLLeY and Dashy.
Look at the teamwork. The 2v4 may have been the final nail in the coffin of that search and destroy game. And at the end of it, OpTic walks away with a 3-0. We haven't really talked about the control, but if anyone missed this series, if they were not part of the 163,000 that were here in the Twitch chat, what did they just miss, aLLeY?
I mean, you didn't really miss a whole lot. It was just a control dominance from OpTic Texas, which is something that followed them from last year as well. I will say, heading into this, I'm very happy to see OpTic playing this well around each other. This is a team that did not make a team change, even though we kind of got baited at the beginning of the offseason, who decided to stick together, and we really saw it in that control and in that search and destroy. They were playing their trades beautifully. They were always there for each other, and I'm excited to see what OpTic Texas does moving forward.
Hey, Scump. How's it feel to be running that AR? You look good on it, buddy. Way to regain here on a Sunday. I know a lot of OpTic fans are excited about it in the chat right now. But we got a lot to talk about, including 2 more series which are still coming up, and not just the big LA Thieves versus ATL battle next. We also got to remind you about what's in the shop right now. We got all kinds of awesomeness, and you can get yours right now. Check out the CDL store for an extensive collection of official CDL apparel and merchandise, including classic favorites like team jerseys and hoodies. Visit shop.callofduty.com to gear up today. If you were buying a jersey right now, aLLeY, the Legion, you going Minnesota Røkkr? Which one's going to look best in your closet?
I think I'm going to have to go with Toronto Ultra. I think I look good in purple.
That Maple Leaf sick.
Ultra. Yeah.
Going with the Squirrels. I like it. We got a big banger of a match when we come back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the rematch from Champs in a brand new game. LA Thieves taking on ATL FaZe when we return.